Earning the Golden Eaglet was a great part in the fact that I was selected from Alabama to be the representative to the International World Camp in '37. We had one girl from each state, 2 girls from each region, and 28 foreign guests. The English girl and I became very good friends. And during the Second World War, she wrote me a letter and said, "I'm expecting a wee baby in October. Would you be godmother?" So I have been her godmother, and she still is in touch with me. I visited her and her husband, and they have visited me. We've had a wonderful relationship. One afternoon at the international camp, I was walking down to dinner and passed the tent of the Japanese girl. She was dressing for a ceremony after dinner in a ceremonial kimono, and she was having trouble putting on her obi, the big sash that has a big belt that has a big sash on the back. She only had a small pocketbook mirror, and she couldn't fasten it and hold the mirror. So I stopped to help her. We became very good friends, and of course we wrote after she got back to Japan. When the Second World War came, of course there was no correspondence whatsoever. But after the war, I thought, it's my place to find her. One of my friends had a friend whose husband was a chaplain, and he was in Japan and she was going to join. So we met for lunch, and I gave her all this information. I received a letter a few months later, and she said I was in the PX having lunch. There was a young Japanese girl, our waitress, and on the spur of the moment, I just asked her, did she happen to know Sumi Sakurai? She said, oh yes, she was my teacher. She's coming back next week, and gave the address that she would be coming back to. I got a letter from Sumi. At that time, our dresses had been very short during the war, and all of a sudden after the war we got the new look, which was the hemline was at the middle of your calf. Well, that was a good excuse for us to give the short dresses to the Japanese. Since they were smaller than we, they would fit them just right. Several years later, Sumi was president of the Japanese Girl Scouts and came to the White House Conference for Youth. And of course, she came to visit us. And she told us when the council was having a lunch for her that it was my dresses that helped her get her daughters married. And I leaned over to the lady next to me and I said, those dresses didn't do that for me. We had a reunion 50 years after the camp, and it was great fun to try to recognize your friends 50 years later. Earning the Golden Eaglet enriched my life. It was one of the best things that I ever did.
Hello everybody, my name is Frida Mays, and I'm a 58-year Girl Scout. But I'm here today, and I want to talk about my curved bar. And I had to come up with something to do for curved bar to get the award. Something I was passionate about was books and the library. So I went to Mrs. Robertson and asked her if I could do my project in the library. So she definitely said yes, because she was the only person there. I said, I will help you for 100 hours. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't have a lot of confidence, but that helped me tremendously. I learned how to use the card catalog, which many of you don't know what it is now, and the Dewey Decimal System, and how to catalog the books. And I would help with children who came in there and storytelling. But what I was proud of most was the confidence that I gained and the confidence that Mrs. Robertson had in me, to the point she even let me keep the library by myself. And that happened lots of times. Working there gave me so much confidence. And it probably helped me in making the decision to become a teacher. As a girl, I had no self-confidence. I would get sick if I had to speak up in front of people. But Girl Scouting gave me the confidence and the courage and the character. Those 3 C's fit me to a T. Something I had always wanted to do was be camp director. That came to fruition in 1976 when I was camp director at Golden Valley. And I owe it all to Girl Scouting because it has helped me become the person I am today.
Hi, my name is Maureen Stout, and I earned my first class Girl Scout back in December of 1970 when I was in 9th grade. And I just wanted to show you that I do have my vest with the patch that we received as a cadet Girl Scout and the 4 challenges that we had to earn as a part of our first class, and then a number of badges. The yellow rimmed ones were for cadets. You can see they continue on the back. The first class was very different than the gold today. We didn't have one single project. We had a variety of things that we had to do. With each one of our challenges, there were all sorts of activities that we had to plan. We had to research information and just get so much information that I can't even begin to tell you how much. But I think what's most important to me about my first class is the impact that the whole first class process had on me as an individual. Girls back in the late 60s and early 70s, we didn't have a lot of opportunity to try different things. But Girl Scouting gave me that opportunity, especially in the out of doors. Through the out of doors, I was able to work with children of all ages, stages, development. And then with Girl Scouting, doing volunteer work, I worked at our hospital as a candy striper. That was a nurse's aide volunteer back in the dark ages. In the pediatrics unit, and I became to really love children of all ages and stages. And I thought, well, you know, maybe education is the way I want to go. I did have an extra special reason, because if I was a teacher, then I had my summers off to work at Girl Scout camp. And that meant more to me than anything else in the world, to just leave the city, go out into the country and camp, hike, backpack, climb, cook in the out of doors all summer long. Camp back then was 12 weeks, and we had an absolute ball and made about $200 for the whole summer. But it was worth it, and I'd do it all over again. And I now have green blood, and I'm very proud of that green blood that I have. Thank you for this opportunity.